so old, not even those who had taught the Tillich knew their origins. The dolphins had been special messengers of the gods, escorting those buried at sea to their special underworld place. As dolphins considered the seas to be underworld, this caused some confusion. The humankind underworld was where souls went, whatever souls were. One of Kibbe's favorite tales was the one that Tillich recounted with great pride, how dolphin-kind had once honored those who had died when one of the spaceships had been wrecked in the sea sky. Since then, the Dolphins of Pern had honored those burial rites with their escort. It was a ceremony the humans had not asked the dolphins to include in their traditions, but they always seemed grateful for it. Learning the names of the dolphins who had slept the great sleep and accompanied humankind to these clean new seas of Pern was an important lesson. From these names came the ones chosen for the new calves to celebrate those first dolphins and those that were born in the years before Thread. The names had been set to dolphin music and could be sung on longer journeys in the great currents. The name song was always sung before the young dolphins attempted to cross the great whirlpool at the northwestern subsidence, or even the smaller one in the eastern sea. There were some matters taught by the Tillich that had to be learned simply because they mattered as details to the whole story. The great sleep, for instance, puzzled even the cleverest calf, male or female, because dolphins did not require sleep. To have slept for 15 years was an incredible thing. Although they knew to call the sparkling light points in the skies stars, there seemed to be a very great many of them, and the Tillich could not tell them which had been old Earth. Humans had had a device that allowed them to see longer, but because stars were in the air, dolphins could not sound them. There were 3 points of light at dawn, and again at twilight, which were constant. The Tillich said those points were the spaceships that had brought humankind and dolphin-kind to Pern. They must take this on faith, she said, for she had had to learn these facts from the Tillich who had taught her. This was fact as well as faith, and must be believed, though never experienced. It was history. And history was another of the great gifts humankind had given dolphin-kind. History was memory of things past. For the sake of history, dolphin-kind had been given the greatest gift, the ability to speak. For with the greatest gift, they could repeat the words of history, words that were sounded as humankind sounded speech, not as dolphins did, and they could speak to humans and to themselves the things that were made of words and not sea sounds. Kibbe had been very good at learning all the words that humans had used with dolphins, and all their special underwater signals. He was good at singing the words, too, so that the young ones of his pod were familiar with them, should they be chosen to go to the waters of the Tillich and complete their training. Kibbe knew the traditions by which humans and dolphins lived in a special relationship. Dolphins would protect humans on or in the water to the best of their abilities, in whatever weather and unsafe conditions, even to the giving up of dolphin life to save the frailer humans. They would apprise humans of bad weather conditions, show them where the schools of preferred fish were running, and warn them off sea hazards. The humans promised, in return for these services, to remove any bloodfish that might attach themselves to dolphin bodies, to float any stranded dolphin, to heal the sick and treat the wounded, to talk to them, and to be partners if the dolphin was willing. In the early days on Pern, humans and dolphins had taken great pleasure in exploring the new seas, and those had been momentous years, the years of the life of the human Tillich, whom all had revered. A dolphin's bell had been sighted at Monaco Bay, and land and sea beings had promised to answer the bell whenever it was rung. In those days, the young dolphins had each had a human partner to help with the exploration, to explore the seas and the deep abysses and the great currents, the 2 subsidences, greater and smaller, and the 4 upwellings. There had been courtesy, each to the other, land and seafaring humans. The Tillich always spoke respectfully of humans, and severely disciplined any calf who used the term longfoot or finless.